Goblins Kobold. They had a particularly nasty fight over some Pop-Tarts. It was pretty brutal, and I know Kobold wants some revenge. Now, the Bearded Menace Havoc, who has been a complete wrecking crew by himself, really, since his debut in November at Turducken. He's going to be taking on the Winged Ring Warrior Icarus, who he took on in a four-way match last month. This time they're going to go one-on-one. They've had some some disagreements and some misunderstandings. So it's going to be interesting to see those two finally to clash one-on-one. Danger Jameson and Rambant Lewis are going to be back together. Last month, they faced each other just to see who would actually win. Unfortunately, as a team, while other teams have been undefeated, they haven't won anything. So they did meet each other because, well, somebody's got to win. And Rambant Lewis came out on top. But they've reconciled and they're back together, and they're going to be taking on a team that's making their debut in Excellence Pro Wrestling, Francis Kip Stevens and the Abominable CPA. I've never seen the CPA, but I have seen Francis Kip Stevens. He made his debut in Chikara a number of years ago. He took on Kobold. It was a really great match. It was very entertaining, a lot of fun, so it's going to be a great show. So that's going to be Friday night show. It's going to be at the Forest Lodge, VFW. It's going to be at the same location. That's our home on 2118 Old Bethlehem Pike in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Front row is 20 and general admission is 15. And of course, kids that are 12 and under are free with a paid general admission ticket. So it's going to be a Friday night show. We're going to be taking off Saturday, and then we'll be back on Sunday afternoon, June the 12th for Tick. Bell time is 3 p.m., so definitely enough time to maybe sleep in a little bit, grab some brunch, and then make it to the show. Oleg the Usurper is going to take on Smiley. So a little bit of a different challenge for Smiley, going from a mat technician like Gran Akuma to a huge sort of warrior who is very much a power wrestler in Oleg the Usurper. Hallow Wicked is going to be in action against Blind Rage. They've been partners. They know each other very well. They've been partners recently, but it looks like they're going to collide. They've had some miscommunication as well. Icarus is going to take on Gran Akuma, and this is a very long-standing rivalry. People may remember back in Chikara, back in 2010, Gran Akuma was in a team with Icarus and Chuck Taylor, Fist, very popular, missed Rudo trio of men. Johnny Gargano had recently joined Chikara and had kind of weaseled his way into Fist, and Gran Akuma was kicked out. Kuma went missing. He returned in 2012 and wanted his, a spot in Chikara. He wanted a return. And Icarus tried to stop him. So Icarus created something called the Gran Akuma Trial Series, where he had to wrestle the members of Fist. He was victorious and eventually defeated Icarus in a ladder match at Chikarasaurus Rex to win a contract and return to Chikara. So that's bad blood, many years now. So them colliding again, it should be a great match. They know each other very, very well. They were Campeones de Parejas in Chikara, so they know each other as opponents. They know each other as tag team partners. It's really going to be a collision. The Prince of Old Goblins, Kobold, is going to take on the Boar of Moldova. So that's going to be interesting. Both are very, very popular with the crowd. The Boar is more of an anti-hero, kind of your 1990s-esque, kind of like Austin, your sort of anti-hero. And Kobold, everyone loves him. Since his return, everyone's been overjoyed that he's back. So that'll be interesting. Again, another sort of speed versus size matchup there. And Lady Excellence, Deanna Purrazzo, will be back. She's going to take on the winner of Karen Q and Vanity. So those ladies who are wrestling on Friday, they have something they're definitely wrestling for, and that's a chance to meet Deanna Purrazzo, who has been seen all over independent wrestling on NXT, so it's a big opportunity. Also, on Sunday afternoon, one night only, Danger Jameson, Too Many Cooks, Rembrandt Lewis, Havoc, and more will be appearing. So that's going on over in Sellersville at the Forest Lodge VFW. That's the rundown of the Excellence events for this weekend. If you want more information about Excellence, definitely check out excellenceprofessionalwrestling.com. Also on Facebook, you can look up Excellence Pro Wrestling. It will come up. Or if you go on to Twitter, it's going to be Excellence PW. So you can get more information. Definitely check out the YouTube as well. Check out Excellence Professional Wrestling has a YouTube channel. All of our matches are on there, so from the recent events. So if you couldn't make Excellence, or you're interested and curious, or maybe you want to get caught up before this weekend's events, go check out the YouTube page. There's all kinds of videos on there, really great matches, absolutely free for you to watch. So those are some of the things coming up this weekend. In the future, something that I'm kind of excited about, it'll be my first deathmatch tournament. Now, I did catch the finals of the Zandig tournament last weekend, but I didn't actually get to see the whole thing. So I don't consider that my first deathmatch tournament. But my first deathmatch tournament is going to be On Point's Survival of the Sickest, which is coming up in July on the 16th. And that's going to be at the Old Time Wrestling Arena in Williamstown, New Jersey, which is the home right now for On Point. It's going to be amazing. There's 9 men going to be in it. And the final is going to be a 4-way, a no rope, barbed wire match. It's going to be absolutely insane. Matt Tremont, who we just talked to, is going to be facing Mark Angel, who he's had a lot of problems with in On Point, and Devin Moore. The stipulation for their match is yet to be determined. I'm sure it'll be something absolutely crazy and insane, especially with Matt's inspiration of Tushi Onita and FMW, which is Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling. Also in the first round, Connor Claxton is going to take on Jimmy Lyon, who's quite the troublemaker and has made a lot of trouble for Connor. They're going to be meeting in a Barefoot Pits of Destruction match. So I can only imagine how painful that's going to be. If you know you've been barefoot and you stepped on something, how much that hurts? Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be lots of very painful things to step on, like thumbtacks and the like. So that's going to be a pretty painful match. Danny Havoc is going to be taking on Drew Blood. So that's going to be interesting to see those two. They're going to be colliding at H2L. They're going to be colliding here. And they're going to be taking on each other in a kitchenware nightmare match. So I'm guessing everything and the kitchen sink will be involved in that one. And then to finish up the first round, it's going to be Jeff Cannonball is taking on Louis Ramos, who is absolutely insane with no regard for his own body. He's definitely a serious challenge to Cannonball. And that match is going to be a Fans Bring the Weapons match. I haven't decided what I'm bringing yet, so I'm going to ask my friends who are experienced in this area. You'd think because we're so close to ECW I'd have more experience, but I wasn't allowed to go when I was a kid. So, although I've seen enough ECW that maybe I can get some ideas from watching some old classic stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be my first death match. It'll be definitely an event for sure. On Point always puts on excellent shows. I absolutely adore the company and I enjoy going to their shows, and I'm a big fan. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And they have a website with more information. It's opwrestling.com. So that's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to that very, very much. So some of what's coming up over the weekend, some events that are really cool in the area. So I definitely recommend, regardless of what you like and or where you live, definitely support the independent wrestling that's around. You can make a real impact, and really support wrestlers who are up and coming, promotions who are committed to, giving you really excellent action, really, on the independent scene in particular too. It's not about the money. I mean, although getting paid is nice, it's really about, the fans and the passion that people have for the fans. And I'll tell you, the men and women out there in the wrestling world, they sacrifice a whole lot to entertain it and really for the fans and put it out there for the fans. So definitely go out and support them, go to the shows, support promoters who are doing really great things, buy merch, buy, the 8x10s, buy whatever really cool and interesting things that they have out there, shirts and pins and everything. Definitely, give your money to these people who are really dedicated to the fans and, looking to entertain and share their passion with us, which is really cool as a fan and as someone who was involved in wrestling. It's an amazing thing. It's kind of like magic, when it all comes together. So a lot of these events coming up, from Friday's Hustle Hardcore organization, It Was All a Dream, Tournament of Death 15, Excellence, Pros, Flea, and Tick. And then later on Point's Survival of the Sickest are going to create some definite magic moments that I think everyone's going to enjoy. So definitely get out there. It's going to be a great weekend. Support independent wrestling. And definitely check out these organizations. Again, there's something out there for everyone. If you like death matches, there's death matches. You like hardcore stuff, you want to see some legends and some dream matchups, go check that out. Come over to Family Friendly. Come over to Excellence Pro Wrestling. Lots of great stuff out there. So I urge you to support independent wrestling. Again, I want to sign off. I want to thank Matt Tremont again for being on the show. I also need to thank the Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, who are our sponsors and our patrons. They are now in the Blue Building at the Englishtown Flea Market, numbers 46 and 47. You can find them on Facebook, as you heard during the commercial break, and also at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. They have everything. I was just in there last week. I picked up some copies of some old Clash of Champions, 92, 93, and 94. Some really great classic sort of NWA, WCW wrestling. I also picked up a copy of a compilation of the Hart family in Japan, which I'm really looking forward to watching. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm still getting over that cough. So I picked up those DVDs. They have tons of figures, autographs, all kinds of stuff. Excuse me. What happens when you talk too much? Woo. Hopefully I can finish through this. Again, I apologize, everybody. So check out Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore. Also, thank you to Damage 365 Radio and Kevin Nasta, again, for giving us time and space. Really very much appreciated. Also, too, like I said, check out H2O, check out Excellence, check out CZW. Great stuff going on this weekend. I haven't introduced myself. I am Babs. I'm known as Babs Indie on Twitter and on Facebook. You can find me there. So please look me up. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or if you'd like to come on the show and really share anything you're working on, talk wrestling, it's always a lot of fun. I have really great guests on, and they just have such interesting opinions about wrestling, varied, and it's great is that everyone who seems to be in wrestling is a fan of wrestling as well. So it's really great to talk about what they enjoy about it and what they've learned along the way. Really great conversations. So I've enjoyed every single one of the 8 interviews that I've done so far and episodes. It's been just an awesome experience. The theme song that you're hearing is called Christine Keeler. It's by the Scotalites. Something a little ska, sort of, with some horns in it, something a little upbeat. So I did want to make those thank yous. I know we had a little bit of, again, it was a special episode. We jumped right into it with Matt, just respecting his time and respectful for the fact that he's taking his time out to do that with us. So really great. Definitely support him this weekend, not just at H2O, but also at CZW. Again, come over to Excellence. Check out what we have to offer. If you do come to Excellence, please stop by, say hi. I'd be glad to talk to you, or stop by and see me on the internet. So my name is Babs. This was a very, again, special episode of the Funkenstein Wrestling Roundup, where I tend to bring together the really awesome, diverse minds around wrestling and in different areas of wrestling. My guest, again, Matt Tremont, friend of the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I want to thank you all for taking the time out and listening and following along. Again, I appreciate your support, too. Wrestling media, it's part of wrestling. There are people who are going out there and they're sharing their opinions and sort of putting together shows and doing creative, awesome things. So definitely support that. If you see someone who's doing stuff like that, whether designing shirts or, different kinds of artwork, let's support it. Wrestling is a really great, cool, creative sort of outlet. It's got a lot of potential, and there's a lot of really talented people out there. So definitely support awesome, talented people doing great things that they love. Probably for not as much money as they deserve. So definitely support independent wrestling, support wrestling in general. Again, there's a lot of great people out there doing a lot of really cool things. So again, for the Funkenstein Wrestling Roundup, I am Bab signing off. Thank you and have a great night.